Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. How are you? I hope all of you are well by the grace of Almighty Allah, and I am also well by the grace of Almighty Allah. Today, I am going to discuss chapter 1, 1.4 part. There are some different fractions, and I will discuss different types of fractions with explanation, also with example. It will be very much helpful for you to understand better. And after that, I will discuss some comparison of fractions and also addition and subtraction of different types of fractions. So let us see today's class. So my dear students, at first, review of previous lesson. My dear students, in the last class, you have solved some problems from exercise on point 3. Now, I am giving you 2 minutes to solve a problem. The question is, what is the greatest number which divides 57, 98 and 183? Who can tell me? Yes, thank you so much, my dear. So let me show you how we can solve this. You can see the solution. Required greatest number will be the HCF of 57, 93 and 183. How can we get this? You can see here 57 equals to, we can write 3 multiplied by 19, and 93 equals to 3 multiplied by 31, and 183 equals to 3 multiplied by 61. So my dear students, therefore the HCF of 57, 93 and 183 equals to 3. Required greatest number will be 3. So that is the answer of this question. So my dear students, this is the review of previous lesson. Already I gave you on problem and I showed you how to solve this. And this question is about HCF, that means the required greatest number. So answer will be 3. Now, at the end of this lesson, you will be able to know common fractions, know different types of common fractions, know mixed fraction, no equivalent fraction, no comparison of fractions, no addition and subtraction of fractions. So this is the thing that you will learn after the end of this today's lesson. Now, as you can see, chapter 1, at first I will discuss common fraction. So let us show what is with the common fraction. So this is the common fraction. A common fraction is a fraction in which numerator and denominator are both integers. Again, I am saying a common fraction is a fraction in which numerator and denominator are both integers. So, example, 4 divided by 5, 8 divided by 5, etc. So, you can see, my dear, in here, numerator and the denominator both are the integer value. Now, common fractions are of 3 types. They are proper fractions, improper fractions, mixed fractions. So these are the 3 types of common fraction. So my dear students, this is common fraction, and you know the example 4 divided by 5. That means both numerator and the denominator are integer value. And common fractions are of 3 types. Number 1 is proper fractions, number 2 is improper fractions, and number 3 is mixed fractions. Let us discuss about these 3 fractions. Now we can see chapter 1, proper fraction. A fraction in which the numerator is less or of lower degree than the denominator. So this is the thing, my dear. Let me show you the example. 3 by 5 is a common fraction. Okay. So in this fraction, numerator is 3 and denominator is 5. Here, the numerator is less than the denominator, so it is a proper fraction. Yes, that is the thing is saying in here. A fraction in which the numerator is less, you can see 3 is numerator and it is less than denominator. Denominator is 5. So this is the proper fraction, my dear. And this is the example 3 divided by 5. Now, the next one is improper fraction. An improper fraction is a fraction where the numerator is greater than or equal to the denominator. As you can see the example, 8 divided by 5 is a common fraction. In this fraction, numerator is 8 and denominator is 5. Here the numerator is greater than the denominator, so it is a improper fraction. So my dear students, this is the improper fraction. And 8 divided by 5, as you can see, an improper fraction is a fraction where the numerator is greater than to the denominator. Now the next one, that is mixed fraction. A mixed fraction is a whole number or an integral part and the proper fraction combined. So that is the thing, my dear, a mixed fraction which have a whole number or an integral part and a proper fraction combined. And you just earlier I have discussed about the proper fraction, which is numerator is less than the denominator. So my dear, that is the example 1 whole 2 divided by 3 is a common fraction. In the fraction, there is an integral part and another part which is a proper fraction. So 1 whole 2 divided by 3 is a mixed fraction. That means 1 is whole number, 2 divided by 3 is a proper fraction, and if we mix them, it will be a mixed fraction. So that is the thing, my dear. That is the mixed fraction, and that is the example of this mixed fraction, 1 whole 2 divided by 3. Now the next part, formula. As you can see, formula for expressing a mixed fraction into a common fraction. Mixed fraction equals to integer multiplied by denominator plus numerator divided by denominator. So this is the formula for finding a mixed fraction, my dear. What is that thing? Again, I am saying integer multiplied by denominator plus numerator divided by denominator. Now, example 1, express 2 whole 2 divided by 5 into a common fraction. How can we do this? Let me show you. As you can see the solution, my dear. From the formula 2 whole 2 divided by 5, that means mixed fraction equals to integer. That means the value of integer, that is 2, multiplied by denominator. Yes, the denominator is 5, my dear, you can see, plus numerator. And you can see from the mixed fraction and the proper fraction part, numerator is 2. So it would be plus 2 divided by denominator. So 2 multiplied by 5 plus 2, it would be 10 plus 2, that would be 12 divided by 5. So this is the expression of 2 whole 2 divided by 5 into a common fraction. So my dear students, so 12 divided by 5 is a common fraction. So this is the formula of this fraction. Mixed fraction equals to what? Example 1, express 2 whole 2 divided by 5 into a common fraction. And this is the solution. and 12 divided by 5 is a common fraction. So chapter 1, equivalent fraction. Equivalent fractions are the fractions that have different numerator and denominator but are equal to the same value. Again, I am saying, my dear, equivalent fractions are the fractions that have different numerator and denominator but are equal to the same value. And this is the example, my dear. 5 divided by 7 and 15 divided by 21 are two fractions. Here, the numerator of first fraction multiplied by the denominator of the second fraction. As you can see, 5 multiplied by 21, because 5 is the numerator of the first fraction and 21 is the denominator of the second fraction. And if we multiply them, it will be 105. Again, the denominator of the first fraction multiplied by the numerator of the second fraction equals to 7 multiplied by 15, that would be 105. As you can see, 7 is the denominator of the first fraction multiplied 15 is the numerator of the second fraction, and if we multiply them, we get 105. So therefore the two fractions are equivalent, my dear. In this way we can find out are these two fractions are equivalent or not. So this is the thing, my dear. Equivalent fractions, the fractions that have different numerator and denominator but are equal to the same value. So this is the example. Here the numerator of the first fraction multiplied the denominator of the second fraction, it will be 5 multiplied by 21, that will be 105, and the denominator of the first fraction multiplied the numerator of the second fraction, it will be 7 multiplied by 15, that will be 105. Therefore the two fractions are equivalent. So equivalent fraction, we will discuss some little more things. Another way of finding equivalent fraction, that means just earlier you have seen one way of finding equivalent fraction, and this is the another way of finding equivalent fraction. If we multiply or divide the numerator and the denominator of a fraction by the same number except 0, we get a fraction which is equivalent to the given fraction. Again, I am saying, if we multiply or divide the numerator and the denominator of a fraction by the same number except 0, we get a fraction which is equivalent to the given fraction. So example, 5 divided by 7 and 15 divided by 21 are two fractions. We will use the same example. As you can see, 15 divided by 21 equals to, we can write down 5 multiplied by 3 and 7 multiplied by 3. That is the thing I was telling, my dear. If we multiply the numerator and the denominator of a fraction by the same number, that's why 3 and 3, it is the same number. So numerator of the first fraction multiplied by 3, denominator of the first fraction multiplied by 3. Then, my dear students, 5 divided by 7, as you can see, if we divide the numerator and the denominator of a fraction by the same number, so you can see 15 divided by 3, 21 divided by 3, we get 5 divided by 7 equals to numerator of the second fraction divided by 3 divided by denominator of the second fraction divided by 3. Now, my dear students, you can see this is the another way of finding equivalent fraction. And if we multiply or divide the numerator and the denominator of a fraction by the same number except 0, we get a fraction which is equivalent to the given fraction. Now from the example, as you can see, my dear, if we multiply 5 divided by 7 by 3, both the numerator and the denominator, we get 15 by 21, which is the second fraction. And from the first fraction we get from the second fraction. How? If we divide 15 by 3 and 21 divided by 3, then we get 5 divided by 7, which is the first fraction. So in this way, we can find out the equivalent fraction also. Now, my dear students, comparison of fractions. As you can see, if the denominators of two fractions are equal, the fraction having a greater than numerator is greater than the other. Again, I am saying if the denominator of two fractions are equal, the fraction having a greater numerator is greater than the other. Let me show you an example. 5 divided by 7 and 3 divided by 4 are two common fractions. Now, LCM of the denominators, as you can see, 7 and 4, this is the denominator, and LCM of them, it will be 7 multiplied by 4 equals to 28. Now, first fraction equals to 5 divided by 7 equals to 5 multiplied by 4 divided by 7 multiplied by 4. How can we get this? Because we will divide this LCM 28 divided by 7, it will be 4. That's why we will multiply with 4 both the numerator and the denominator, because we need to make from the both fraction equal denominator. That's why we are doing this. So the first fraction denominator we got 28 and numerator is 20. What about the second fraction? Equals to 3 divided by 4, and in the same way in here denominator is 4, so 28 divided by 4 it will be 7. So 3 multiplied by 7 divided by 4 multiplied by 7 equals to 21 divided by 28. So my dear students, you can see from the second fraction we also got the same denominator 28. And that is the thing we are doing. If the denominator of the two fractions are equal, so already we have made the two fractions denominator are equal, then the fraction having a greater numerator is greater than the other. So the greater numerator is in the second fraction. So the denominators of the fractions 20 divided by 28 and 21 divided by 28 are same. Here the numerator 20 of the first fraction is less than the numerator of 21 of the second fraction. Therefore, 20 divided by 28 less than 21 divided by 28. So we can write down, because of 20 divided by 28 is 5 divided by 7 and 21 divided by 28 is 3 divided by 4. Or we can write down like this way, 3 divided by 4 greater than 5 divided by 7. So my dear students, this is the comparison of fractions, and we can find out which fraction will be greater than the other or which fraction will be less than the other. So this is the process. If we make the denominator equal, so we can easily find out by the numerator, so which one is greater and which one is less. Now, my dear students, comparison of fractions again. And this is number 2. If the numerators of two fractions are equal, the fraction having a greater denominator is less than the other. That means this time we have to make the numerators same. So let me show you how is it. This is the example, and the same example we will use. 5 divided by 7 and 3 divided by 4 are two common fractions. Now, LCM of the numerators 5 and 3 equals to 5 multiplied by 3 equals to 15. That means at first we just find out the LCM of the numerators. Now, first fraction equals to 5 divided by 7, and as the LCM is 15, and if we divide by the numerator, it will be 3, and this 3 we will multiply with numerator and the denominator. So 3 multiplied by 5, it will be 15, and 3 multiplied by 7, it will be 21. 1. Now we have to find out the second fraction in the same numerator. Now in the second fraction you can see 3 divided by 4 as 15 divided by 3, because numerator is 3, so we get 5, and this 5 we will multiply with both numerator and the denominator. And if we multiply with numerator, we will get 3 5s are 15, and if we multiply with denominator, we will get 4 5s are 20. Now my dear students, what we can see? You can see in the both fraction, both the numerator are same. So the numerators of the fractions 15 by 21 and 15 by 20 are same. Here the denominator 20 of the second fraction is less than the denominator 21 of the first fraction. And it is saying in here, my dear, if the numerators of the two fractions are equal, the fraction having a greater denominator is less than the other. So my dear students, now we can write down 15 divided by 21 less than 15 divided by 20. Or we can write down 5 divided by 7 less than 3 divided by 4. Or we can write down 3 divided by 4 greater than 5 divided by 7. So this is the comparison of fractions, my dear, and this is the two number things. At first in one number we have made the denominator same, and in here we have made the numerator same. So as you can see, this is the example, my dear, and at first we have find out the LCM, then first fraction and the second fraction numerator, we will make the same thing, that is 15, and after that we got 5 divided by 7 less than 3 divided by 4, or 3 divided by 4 is greater than 5 divided by 7. Now my dear students, example number 2, and we will solve it. This example, arrange the fraction 1 divided by 8, 3 divided by 16, 7 divided by 24 into the ascending order of their values. How can we do this? Let me show you. So this is the solution, my dear. The LCM of the denominators of 8, 16 and 24 of the given fraction equals to 48. Again I am saying the LCM of the denominators of 8, 16 and 24 of the given fractions equals to 48. Now the first fraction equals to 1 divided by 8 equals to as 48 divided by 6. That means 48 is the LCM and this 8 is the denominator. If we divide, we will get 6. And this 6 we will multiply with the numerator and the denominator also. So this is the process, my dear. So 1 multiplied by 6, it would be 6. 8 multiplied by 6, it would be 48. So from the first fraction, we got 6 divided by 48. And in the second and third fraction, we have to make the same denominator. Now the second fraction, it would be 3 divided by 16 equals to 3 multiplied by 3 divided by 16 multiplied by 3. How can we get this 3? As you can see, LCM is 48 and the denominator is 16. If we divide them, we will get 3. And these 3 we will multiply with the numerator and the denominator also. So 3 multiplied by 3, it would be 9. And 3 multiplied by 16, it would be 48. So as you can see, first fraction and the second fraction already we have got the same denominator. Now the third fraction, 7 divided by 24. As you can see, 48 divided by this denominator 24, we will get 2. Now these 2 will multiply with the numerator and the denominator also. So 7 multiplied by 2, it would be 14. 24 multiplied by 2, it would be 48. So already we have got these three fractions denominator equal. Now the thing is, if we compare the numerators of the fractions 6 divided by 48, 9 divided by 48, 14 divided by 48 having an equal denominator, then we get 6 less than 9 less than 14. Now, therefore, comparing the factors, we got 6 divided by 48 less than 9 divided by 48 less than 14 divided by 48. So this is the thing, my dear. Therefore, in ascending order, we can write down the fractions 1 divided by 8 less than 3 divided by 16 less than 7 divided by 24. And this is the answer the question is asking. Again, my dear students, this is the question. Arrange the fraction 1 divided by 8, 3 divided by 16, 7 divided by 24 into the ascending order of their values. Now the solution is, at first we have to find out the LCM of the denominators, because we want to make the denominator of these three fractions equal. So from the first, second and third fraction, we got the equal denominator, which is 48, and after comparing their numerator value, we got that 6 divided by 48 less than 9 divided by 48 less than 14 divided by 48. And therefore, in ascending order, the fraction will be 1 divided by 8 less than 3 divided by 16 less than 7 divided by 24. Now, my dear students, addition and subtraction of fractions. The sum of the fractions having the same denominator is a fraction whose denominator is the denominator of the given fraction, and the numerator is the sum of the numerators of the given fractions. Let me show you the example. 7 divided by 13 plus 2 divided by 13. So the denominator is same. So if we do the LCM, 13 will be the LCM. In here it is written. And after that, 7 plus 2, and we will get 9 divided by 13. So this is the addition of fractions. Now number 2, the difference of the fractions having the same denominator is a fraction whose denominator is the denominator of the given fractions, and the numerator is the difference of the numerators of the given fractions. Now you can see, my dear, if we see this example, 7 divided by 13 minus 2 divided by 13 equals to 13 and 13 is the same denominator, so it will be the denominator. And after that, 7 minus 2, it will be the numerator. So 5 divided by 13, this is the subtraction of fractions. So my dear students, this is the addition of fractions, and this is the example. 9 by 13 is the answer, and this is the subtraction of fractions, and this is the example, that is 5 divided by 13 is the answer. Now my dear students, summary of today's lesson. Proper fraction. A fraction in which the numerator is less or of lower degree than the denominator. This is an important thing. And after that, improper fractions. An improper fraction is a fraction where the numerator is greater than or equal to the denominator. Mixed fraction. A mixed fraction is a whole number or an integral part and a proper fraction combined. So my dear students, a mixed fraction is a whole number or an integral part and a proper fraction combined. And this is the equivalent fractions. Equivalent fractions are the fractions that have different numerator and the denominator but are equal to the same value. And the most important things is mixed fraction. It will be integer multiplied denominator plus numerator divided by the denominator. This is the formula of mixed fraction to make it to the common fraction. So my dear students, this is proper fraction and summary of today's lesson. Mixed fraction, equivalent fraction also. The important is mixed fraction. Now, my dear students, this is OSW number 17, chapter 1. You have to do as a homework, online homework number 17, and that is page number 23. You have to do example number 1. So, my dear students, I hope you enjoyed the class and you have understood all the things very much clearly. Thank you so much for watching my class.